Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Don't blame me. Not the pod.
I'm just adjusting.
She's just adjusting. Guys, it's me and Melissa today.
Hello.
It's a Melissa and Megan, Melissa and I. It is just odd. No, that's the King and I was going to say it's just, when you have to figure out if it's I or me.
Oh, yeah. Melissa and
Me.
let's just keep it as me because we got to go with the M's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're all about branding here. M-M-M-M-M-M-M-M-M-M. Tasty. I actually just listened to, I think it was our last one or the one before that, of you and me. We're so funny.
I mean, I don't know which one you listened to, so I
don't
can't
either.
answer your
I
question.
don't know. I couldn't even tell you what we talked about, but it was just God, we're funny.
Okay.
Maybe I listened to 2 of them.
Yeah,
of
I
us.
mean, there was 2 last month, so.
And we didn't get any, not that we would get complaints, but you guys all, I love that every time it's you and I, everyone's like, I love when it's just them.
Yeah.
It's just fuck all the rest of our guests.
we love the rest of our guests,
we do.
but
We know, but hey,
it's a good time when it's just us.
It's such a good time. So if you guys are new here, this is an advice podcast. You guys call in and leave voicemails for us, and then we give you advice. And if your life is going to shit and you need some advice, you can give us a call at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I had a brand tell me, message me on my main Instagram saying that they liked my podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they make weed products. And I was like, can I have some?
Can we send them over?
I think
they listen, so.
Yeah, they listen. So guys, can't wait to get some of that.
Yeah.
Hell it down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do we have anything to say before we start?
We've got our Patreon,
Yes, guys. Oh my God. Motorcycle.
I know. And those you
energy.
can actually hear on the podcast. The audio doesn't cut it. I mean, the mics don't cut it out.
Because small dick energy prevails.
Yeah.
Small dick energy. Yeah, guys, we launched our Patreon. I'm pretty stoked about it. We've been talking about wanting to do this for a really long time. And now it's here.
And we said for our opinionated Olivias, if you joined before August, then you'd get a shout out.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we've got a shout out to Emily Donahue.
Emily Donahue, Dawn of the Hughes. Woohoo.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Emily. You're number 1 homie. Sorry, guys. What?
I mean,
she's our number 1.
She is.
She's our number 1.
Yeah. So,
you can be number 2.
Yeah. So whoever the next people are, if you sign up before the end of August, then you'll get a shout out too.
Oh my God, my birthday month. Fuck, I'm going to be 26.
Oh my gosh, I'm 33.
I know, but what age do you feel on the inside?
Oh, I forget my age all the time. I think I'm 30.
Okay. Because I don't feel that I just feel like I've stopped aging at 22, but I don't feel 22. But every time anyone asks me my age, I'm like, I think I'm 22. And I'm not. And so the farther I get away from 22, the more ridiculous it is. Because deep down, I feel like I'm 37, but like, I don't know why I think I'm 22.
Yeah.
Also,
you don't have a 22-year-old energy.
No, not at all. Also, 22 was a terrible year of my life. Like, I don't want to like, maybe that's why I'm like stunted there.
Maybe.
More therapy.
Talk about that in therapy next time.
Oh my God. That's true. Okay. Should we hop into it?
Let's do it.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Melissa. So I called in a couple weeks ago with a completely different issue, but I have a new one, or a new blossoming one, if you will. So I've been dating my present boyfriend for a year and a half, and I'm 23. He is 22. So lately, my family has been doing a lot of family events, family outings. I'm very close to my family. I'm very involved with my family. And I love my family. They are the most important thing in my life. And so being around my family is probably one of my favorite things. So how my boyfriend ties into that is a little interesting. I've been noticing that more and more lately, when I've invited him to family events, family gatherings, family outings, whatever it is, he's been suddenly not having time for it, or not wanting to make time for it. Or another thing he's been telling me more is that he's just, tired. He wants to spend time at home, which I completely understand and I support. But my sister is home from college for a couple weeks, and her boyfriend is coming as well. And we have a couple different family gatherings and family outings, just because this doesn't happen every day. And he is conveniently busy those days with things that maybe I wouldn't deem necessary. And maybe that sounds harsh, but it's just the way I'm feeling. Like, one day he planned to go out with his best friend, but they made this plan after I invited him to go with my family to an amusement park. And like, I understand family things are not that big of a deal to him, but they are to me. And I've expressed this, and he doesn't seem to understand. And he's told me that he's just too tired to go a lot of the time, which at the same time I understand. But I feel like he's potentially, getting sick of me or my family, but won't say it. I don't know. And I overthink things and take a step back and not be so upset. It just feels kind of weird to go to a family outing where my sister and her boyfriend are there, and my whole family is there, even distant relatives. And then, my boyfriend couldn't make it because he's tired, didn't feel like going, or has an unimportant outing with his best friend planned that could be rescheduled, at least in my mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm being ridiculous. I want an outsider's perspective of this.
She got cut off because she was long.
Oh, okay. Do you want to start? Because you're close with your family.
I am close with my family, but I also don't like people.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I can relate to him on a lot of levels. I also hate amusement parks.
Yeah.
So, and if he's tired, those are like a all day thing where you're out in the heat. There's a ton of people around. Like waiting in lines is just long. Being like, it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
So if he's tired already, like I can understand if he can go hang out with his friend, like doing something low key and doesn't want to hang out with your family.
Yeah. I also think like I also really relate to your boyfriend on this one. I think like it's awesome that you're so super close to your family, but they're your family. They're not his family. And you didn't bring up how much you guys hang out with his family or anything like that. And that also doesn't really, I don't think that really matters because everybody's relationship with their parents is different. So like he just might not, like they might not have like as much of a, either they don't live as close or they don't have as much of a, we spend all this time together, or they do and he doesn't necessarily, and he likes to have you around, but he doesn't value that quality time and spending as much as you do with them, which is totally fine. I definitely am like more on that side. And I think like comparing it to how your sister and her boyfriend and all of those things like that, I think that's not really fair because it's their choices. And I think if this is a deal breaker for you, which it sounds like a deal breaker, and you want somebody who's going to join your family, then this might not be the guy for you. And I don't think there's anything wrong with either side of it, but also that whole thing of like, when you date someone, you date their family. Like to be perfectly honest, I get massive social anxiety usually when it comes to like having to be on about like all the time. And that's what happens when you're in that situation. And for you, it's easy because it's your parents, it's your siblings. And you can tell you can tell him that all the time, like, oh, you don't have to put, like, you're totally fine. Like, you don't have to stress about it. But no matter what, like, it's not his family. Like, and no matter how close he feels to them, he's still having to be that boyfriend and really just like put it on. And that's exhausting and it's not really super fun. And just the amount that you talk about hanging out with your boyfriend, you talk about like hanging out with your family. Mats and I have this whole thing. And we've said this from the beginning of our relationship of there's certain things that like we're going to invite each other to, and we'll have the invite. It can be up there. You can say yes, you can say no, but there's only a few things that we will really insist this is a really important thing for you to be at. And even those are the things that, okay, we reschedule something for. This is the thing that, okay, it might not be like either one of our absolute favorite things to do. And it might not even be either of our favorite things to do, but it's an obligation. And we will reserve those super important things, but not everything is that important. And I've had friends who've dated people who every event has been that a really important one. So for you having to be like, well, he could reschedule all of this. It's like, well, it sounds like he's hung out with your fucking family a ton. And like your sister's home from college. That's your sister. You spend time with her. And I don't think that if anyone in your family makes you feel weird for the fact that like your boyfriend's not around as much as like anyone else is, like he's got his own life. And I don't want to say your relationship is doomed at all, but I think you do need to figure out if this is a deal breaker for you or not, because I recently had a friend, her and her boyfriend broke up, and a huge aspect of it was the fact that like she was really close with her family. He was really close with his family, but he wanted her to join his family. And she's like, I still have like my own stuff. And I think everyone's great and all of that. But like at the end of the day, like if that's the kind of relationship that you need, then that's not going to work out. So yeah, I would just come at it from a way of thinking like, as much as you really enjoy all of this, is it a deal breaker? Like, do you need to have a partner who's like always around and with you, with your family, which that is so like romantic comedy to me, which like I love that. I think that's great. I'm not that kind of person. And I also wouldn't be, I don't know, I wouldn't date somebody where that was also the case. Do you know what I mean? So I think like you're totally valid in like, if this is how you feel, this is how you feel. But I would also take a step back from the situation and maybe this time, like you don't push it and you let him do his own thing, and then realize like, okay, you can still have fun if he's not there. Yeah. Like you can still have a great relationship and have him not be around all of the time. And also maybe it's just he doesn't come around for every single little thing, and then you deem what's important. But I think right now too, if he's been around your family so much and been doing all of these things, you're right. He's not going to tell you if he's sick of them.
Yeah,
like
you should just ask him.
Oh my God. But he can't say that.
No, you can just be like, hey, I noticed that you don't come around my family as much as you used to. Is this too overwhelming for you right now?
And be like, let's come up with a good way of knowing, because maybe right now he's tapped out for a couple months and like he's not going to see them. So you don't decide, okay, let's decide what's important. FYI, the thing right now is really important.
Yeah. And just let him know, if you don't want to come, that's okay. It's not completely okay with me, but I just want you to know, like, I respect your decision, but I feel awkward being there with like my family, my sister, and she has her boyfriend there, and then other family has their significant others there, and I'm the one without my significant other.
Yeah, I think you guys need to decide what are the important things. And then he can make time for that. But it's a lot to ask someone to make time for everything. And I also, if he might not be super close to this family, or they might not live close by, like my friends are my family to me. So like for me, if I had plans with my best friend and then like was rescheduling for something, like for me, that does carry the same level of importance as some people is with their family. So I think he also just doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And that's why he's coming up with all this other stuff.
But her feelings are being hurt. So if you don't say something, then it's just going to get worse.
But as somebody who I don't have that close relationship, there's also, if he also doesn't have a close relationship, I've definitely been in situations with like Mott's family and stuff where like I have to tell him like we have to take a break. Like not that this is anything necessarily personal against anyone, but it's like as somebody who doesn't have a great relationship with parents, like it can be hard to like spend a lot of time around, like you see like a really happy family. And for you might think of like if he doesn't have a happy home life, like, oh, I'm so glad I can bring him into mine. It's still not his.
Yeah.
And I've had people say that before, like who like when they invite me to do family stuff, it's like, well, you're a part of our family. And I'm like, that's really, really nice and really sweet. But like, I'm not. And this sentimental value and stuff that you hold, I know it's like coming from the greatest place ever that you want to extend that to me, but I don't have those nostalgic feelings towards this. And it can just be like a little triggering and like not necessarily a way that he finds that makes him feel super happy. So I would focus on that. And then also at the like last thing I'll say about this, but how much of really, really wanting him to be there, do you value versus when you look at him, is he having a good time when he's there?
Yeah.
So you're like your ideal situation with partners, like you should want them to be enjoying it as much as you. So having him come, if having him come is the win, I think you should also focus on like, oh, do I just want him to be here for like saving face because everyone else is here? Or like, is he having a good time? And am I also having a good time because he's here and I can see that he's enjoying himself. And maybe if he comes around less and like he's more fun to be around and you enjoy his presence there more, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. And what's your relationship like as a whole?
Yeah.
Like, is this just the one thing that is like bothering you, or are there other things going on as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Well, best of luck. Give us an update. We'd love to know.
Yeah.
And have fun at the amusement park. That sounds fucking exhausting. As somebody who relates to your brother on the tired level.
Boyfriend, not brother.
What? Did I say brother? Oh yeah, don't fuck your brother. I relate. I'm tired. We're the same. Okay, on to the next.
I'm 24 and I am calling because I need advice about this guy. I met him on Bumble like 2 years ago and he ended up just visiting and he lives 5 hours away. So we have been talking casually, got to know each other, have become pretty close friends, and recently he ended up moving back. So we have been hanging out, casually dating with intentions of maybe becoming more serious this summer once we're not so busy. I've really enjoyed hanging out with him, but like the sex aspect of things is really weird. Like I just found out, he's 28, that he hasn't so much as made out with anyone for 6 years, which, you know, at first I thought it was weird, but to each their own. And then we started messing around and he has a really hard time getting hard. And then once he is hard, he has a hard time keeping it up, which, you know, it happens sometimes. I get nervous. But after the first few times, I kind of tried bringing it up and he was super awkward about it, so I dropped it. And then there was this one point where he went to get a condom and he came back and I went down on him and he had put numbing gel on himself and my mouth went numb and I started drooling everywhere and I tried to bring it up again. He got kind of like angry with me for bringing it up. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but when he goes down on me, he's perpetually like a half of an inch to the right. And I've tried being sexy about it and saying, oh no, like move your head just right here. And to the point where I was like, right here, this is the spot. And he still can't get it right. So I really enjoy spending time with him, but I don't want to go into something knowing that this is going to be an issue. So I guess just wondering what your advice on this would be. Should I talk to him about it, even though he's like been upset about it every time we brought it up? Or would this be a good enough reason to not try getting more serious? I don't know. Thanks.
I need us all to visualize. I'm so sorry this is happening too, but I just really need us all to visualize a moment that she went down on him. She comes back up. She's drooling everywhere because her mouth is numb. That is like, this is a comedy. We have to save this for in a comedy. Have you ever made out with someone who's just on coke and not knowing?
No.
Is it coke that does it or one of them? But it makes your mouth go numb and all fuzzy and numb. And like the idea that like I can only imagine that would be so much worse. Also, like, did it taste funny? Like, did it taste like icy hot? Like, what's the numbing? Or is that a thing?
No, there's like numbing gel for your penis.
But is it numbing or is it like icy hot? Because like numbing seems
like like if you get the ones that are like extends condoms that are for guys.
Yeah,
that stuff that's on that coats that.
But isn't that so you don't come too fast?
That's what he's trying to do.
Wait, is he coming too fast or is he not coming at all?
He's not staying hard, so he's trying to so the sensation.
Oh, okay. In my mind, I'm like, well, I feel like you're not going to stay hard if you can't feel your dick.
No, but that's what he's trying to not feel, so he can stay harder.
Oh,
hard longer.
Wow. Okay, you need to be done with him.
Maybe he's like. I guess he's trying, but maybe there's other things, like an underlying thing that he needs to get checked out. If he hadn't made out for anybody in 6 years, was it because he was nervous because he can't stay hard and he has this issue, this ED issue, where has he been checked out to see what's wrong with him?
Okay, but my mind's not even at the penis stuff. It's at the fact that he cannot eat her out. And she's giving him explicit advice.
In the words of a former caller... You just got to grab him by the head.
But he's
down there. She told him. She should physically move him.
She said she showed him right there and he still can't do it. I just think, here's the thing. Like, I think like if this was all on paper in the scheme of things, like a guy who struggles to stay hard and the sex isn't all there, but you really like him, I would say like, I don't think that that's like a doom situation, but I think you saying like, is this enough of a reason to end it? Like even in your voice, I think for you it is. And I think that's fine. Like I will fully admit, like I'm not somebody, and this sounds whatever, it sounds bitchy or whatever, but like if I hook up with somebody for the first time and like it sucks, I'm not really one of those people who like is gonna work at it. Like I want our sex to be better, but like if it sucks, I have a really hard time unless it's like, okay, think about the difference between being awkward and clunky. Okay, I don't know why I'm fucking looking at you because you've only ever had good sex and great sex. Okay, whatever. So, but anyone in general, like if I've ever had, like if it's bad, I have a hard time staying super attracted to that person unless the reasons why it's bad, it is coming from a place that it's like, oh, this is just like a little clunky and awkward and it's going to get better. But if it feels like not compatible and it's not working, and this is clearly, like you've said, this has been multiple times. And it's been multiple times, like, again, I'm not even thinking about the erectile dysfunction part. Like, I'm purely thinking about the fact that, like, you've literally told him how to go down on you and, like, he can't. And it also seems like him getting, like, angry and, like, defensive about, like, sex in general, like, doesn't seem like somebody who is also trying to work at it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And also, like, putting that on without even telling you or anything like that, like, that's just not good communication.
Yeah.
Like, what if you were, like, allergic to it?
True.
You know, like
that is true.
That's just, and like the fact that like you're cool with like, oh, I'm gonna put this shit on my dick. Like
he didn't know that it would make your mouth numb.
Yeah.
Too.
Like that's just a little like it's just a little odd. And like the not having made out with anyone in like a bunch of years, like I don't think it's necessarily like says anything other than like, yeah, it's a little odd. And the oddness of that is kind of checking out in the rest of things that are happening now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, that was weird. Like, that's weird. But maybe there's I don't know. Like, I didn't hook up with someone for like almost a year because I wanted to take a break. But like once, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, it's a weird thing. And then everything else is falling through. You're like, yeah, that kind of matches that fucking weird thing. But I think you can like really get along with him and think he's great. But you're even saying like, you're not sure if you should get into something with someone with this right off the bat that's not super sexually compatible. And if you feel like you've given it, you guys have both kind of really tried and given it that effort, then yeah, I think you're right in the sense that like I think you're actually also in a good position that like it is pretty casual now.
She's not in a good position.
No, she's not.
He can't eat her properly.
Yeah. Like I also want to know how many times, because I don't know. I genuinely do not know how many times I could do like just be like without it like I would get, oh wow.
Yeah, I would say if you really like him and you think that you want to be with him, then you should encourage him to see his doctor. But
and draw him a diagram.
Yeah. Just pinch his tongue and just move it.
Yeah. Literally just like grab his head and be like, there, now don't fucking move, and then just clank your legs around his head. But also,
but if you don't like him, then move on.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what you're like. Are you super turned on by him? Like, are you super sexually attracted to him? Like, is it the fact that like it's all this buildup and then the follow through is kind of like sucky, or is it like is none of that really meshing? Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I think you can tell if you're sexually compatible or not. And then also, if he's not willing to fucking work at it, then it doesn't matter. If you are, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
My God, I just can't even imagine. Also, I'm so fucking curious about this icy. Like, I keep calling it icy hot.
Icy hot.
But isn't that what it's gonna feel like? Tingly? That's what icy hot feels like. No, that's not what icy. It's like mixed vapor rubby.
It won't. It's not tingly. It just numbs you.
Yeah, but I want to know what it feels like to my mouth.
Oh,
I'm gonna buy it. Mom's gonna
it probably would be tingly, and I think it would smell like something like chemical.
Yeah, but it has to be like what does that feel like on your vagina, or is it inside the condom?
It would be inside the condom because he went to go get the condom on.
Okay.
So, but he went to get a condom, so he came back. She went down on him. He probably thought he was being sneaky. You know, like, I'm going to get a condom, but he put the numbing cream on.
So then did he come, or did he take the condom off and then she went down?
I don't think I think he went to get the condom, but he hadn't put it on yet.
Oh, so then he just smeared some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. I really want to know what that's like. I'm just really curious. Like, what's that?
Well, you can try it.
Mott's won't let me.
Or you can just get like...
I'm going to have to put it on my arm and then make out with my arm.
Or you just get like, what's that stuff?
Novocaine?
Like Ambisol.
What?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like stuff like when people have like canker sores or stuff in their mouth, they put that in.
Oh, maybe it's like that throat spray I have.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now I'm less interested because I have strep throat, so I know what that nothing's up feels like. But that's so funny.
But it's so much that you're drooling, though. It's got to be strong.
Can you imagine? Also, sloppy wet blowjob. Like, if you're just drooling everywhere.
And you're just like moving your head because you can't move your mouth, so you're just moving your head.
Her mouth isn't even touching his dick. There's so much teeth, but neither of them can feel it because everything's numb. Oh my God. This is so fucking weird. Yeah, you can't date this guy. That's so weird. It's just so fucking weird. And you also have to ask. He's not like, oh, by the way, you're drooling all over me and you can't feel your mouth because of this.
Yeah, but he can't feel it either.
That's so weird. That's so weird. That's super fun. It's like, yeah, no, I'm just not here for people like doing shit and sex that like we haven't agreed upon, you know?
Yeah. I just keep thinking about when I had my wisdom teeth taken out and my sister was like, she's like, you kept saying, I can't feel my tongue. I can't feel my tongue. And that's what I think about. Shout out to my sister because she now listens to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
like religiously now.
Funny. Wow. Okay. Well, let us know what happens. Give us an update.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just fizzle out. Fizzle out your friends.
Yeah.
Just stop having sex.
Until he figures things out. If you like him. I'm changing. Yeah, we have different opinions. I'm not here for the learning curve. I'm not. I'm here for like, let me like make this better. But also like if I give you a tip, which is fine. Cause like the first time you have sex with someone, like it's not actually like be mind blowing. But like if you're giving him like verbal and physical, like here's how to do this. And he's just like, I'm going to fucking ignore you. Like, I know your pussy better than you. Like, oh my God. Also when she says he's like 2 inches. That's like your thigh. That's your thigh.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's just like sucking on a fucking lip, like being like, ugh. Like that's just so. And like him to be like, no, she says that it's here, but I'm gonna avoid like what's clearly the part that I'm supposed to be getting at. Like that to me, I'm like, you just like it's not even like he's an idiot to me. That just sounds like he's a fucking asshole who's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Like it's like a guy who's like, no, I'm not gonna go down on you. I'm just gonna make you come purely by touching your nipples and being like, okay, this is fun and all, but like, can we move this along? And also, you're clearly trying. You know what I mean? Like she's And also, if he's quick, if he's like quick to come or like not staying hard, like that's he should be a guy who like then takes it upon himself. Not to say that that's like a negative thing or whatever, but like would take it upon himself, like that embarrassment or whatever. I would usually think that that's going to get targeted into being like, okay, I really want to pleasure her versus like, oh, I'm going to get angry.
But he hasn't been with anybody in 6 years, like since he was 22, because he's 28.
Yeah, but like your vagina has always been in the, like most women's vagina, it's in the same spot. Like it's not like, oh, it used to be on the thigh. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but I'm just saying.
But you guys put on porn while you have sex.
But it would have to be like lesbian porn for
maybe you
him
just put
to
on
give
like
proper directions.
I just would laugh. Like if someone was just like eating out my thigh, I'd be like, can you just imagine? And you're like, oh no, it's a little to like this side, and he's just not moving. And you're like, are you avoiding it? Like, is that what you just like? I don't.
Maybe he's gay.
Yeah, maybe he's gay. Who fucking knows? But I don't think it's. Yeah. Well, I guess Melissa says if you really like him, keep trying. But I'll be here to say I told you so when it never fucking gets better.
To the doctor. But I don't think she really likes him because they've known each other for 2 years.
Yeah, and also you literally said it in a way of being like, "Is this enough to like break up with him?" Like I saw your face. In my mind.
And she's like, "We're like dating to see if it gets more serious in the summer."
No.
That's
the summer is not the time to get more serious either.
Cuffing season's in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when you want to eat your heavy starchy foods.
For the fling.
Yeah. It's for the flings. It's for the lifeguards, pool boys, all that shit. What a good time. On to the next.
Hi. Hey, Megan. So I have a little, not a problem. It's just I don't know how to explain it. So I hooked up with this guy. I'm a gay male, by the way. I hooked up with this guy. He's like 28. I'm 18. There's a 10-year difference, but you know, he was Latin. I have an affinity. I can't help that. And I get to his house. You know, I have my knife and I have my gun in my glove box, so I'm like safe. And I walk in the house, and his husband is there that I didn't know about. And they want me to live with them and be like their gay kids that they do things with. And how do I say no? But they also want to be my sugar daddies. How do I say yes to that but no to living with them? Thank you.
Fuck.
Oh, if I could have like that Chrissy Teigen gif where she's just like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking shit. Wow. Wow. I mean, is there room for negotiation?
That's if, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I would think if you brought everything to the table, like, hey, I'm willing to be pampered too, but I don't want to live here.
Yeah. Like, do you want to hook up with both? Like, are you into that? Like, or also maybe the one that you want to hook up with, is he like, does he have enough like say in the relationship that it's like, this is my sugar baby? Like, can you be a solo sugar baby to one of them?
I don't think so.
No, it needs to be like a twofer.
I think it's a twofer.
Well, I mean, I think if you're open to negotiations,
you're literally their sugar child. It's like a couple.
Well, I also can't with the fact that they refer to the term kid, because I'm like, no, there's sex stuff happening here. Like you can be like their like sugar. I guess baby is always a weird. That's
the term.
Familial term anyway.
Yeah, but it's just different now because there's
two of them, so it sounds like their own child.
Daddies.
Yeah. Hey, more is more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're like, if the whole situation as a whole is just like really like you're not into at all, and the only thing that's enticing is like the sugar baby aspect. I mean, sure. See if you can like become a sugar baby with no strings attached. But also like if you're open to like if there's things you're open to, and the thing that's like really like the no-go is living together, and then also like you probably have your like hard passes on like any sexual things, see if there's room for negotiation.
Bring an offer to the table.
Yeah. Wear a suit with no pants. I love this. And have a full-blown contract written up and be like, let's see how this is gonna be a thing.
Maybe I think, bring your lawyer into it.
Yeah. Because I think you're right in the sense that like I don't think living, I think that's like a little, to me it seems like a little like,
it seems like they're gonna like dress him up, and
it seems a little Barbie dollish, and like in a way that I don't think is I personally, if I was, I don't think that's awesome, like great, and also you don't sound like that's like your cup of tea either. So I think like if there's a way that they're like you can feel you get what you want out of this, and you still feel like empowered, and you don't feel kind of like pigeonholed. I say like go for like finding that sort of negotiation. And like as in regards, but also if you just want to say no as a total whole, I think that's also like very valid and fair. Just to be like, hey guys, you know what? I'm super flattered by your offer. Thank you so much. Not really what I'm looking for right now. But very flattered. So
yeah, thank you.
Carry on, you know? Or you can, or just be like, you know what? I'm not I'm really flattered by this, but like I am not super I like my living situation. I'm not really comfortable or looking for a new one.
Yeah. Unless you guys want to buy me something.
Yeah. Let's go to my own apartment. In fact, I really like my own space individually, but like, you know, I would be open to discussing like other aspects of this that I could get into. Just like want to make sure that like we're all on the same page. Then I think, yeah. Negotiations. You never get a contract first and just sign it.
Yeah.
And I think if you guys are going to like get into anything, I think it probably is good to, even if it's not like legal binding agreements in that sense, but like
any type of relationship, you should have open communication.
Yeah. Especially when it's you joining in to someone else's relationship, having that, making sure that you guys are all on the same page with like what we're all okay with and comfortable with. And also making sure that you establish what you're comfortable with before you talk to them. So you don't feel pressured in any sense to kind of change your comfort levels. And if you do, then like readdress that with them, but don't go into it like totally on their terms.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Please call us back.
I've had friends who've done the sugar baby thing.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Yeah.
We had a couple callers at one point that had shared their stories.
I mean, you know, some people got to fucking pay for college and also like live life.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot more common than.
I do want the call back from the one girl that was like falling in love with her sugar daddy.
Oh, yeah.
From like season 1 or 2.
They're married. They had their own sugar.
Yeah, I think she's in Australia.
Ooh, yeah. Let us know.
Yeah.
Also, you let us know too. I'd love to know what happens.
Yeah, maybe you guys can meet on like the chat board and have a discussion.
Yes. We should have like a sugar baby like subgroup.
Yeah.
Can I join? I just like
you're an admin, so you can see it.
Megan is always watching. Big brother always watching. Wow, love it. Okay. Is it time for a break?
Time for a break.
Okay, guys. We'll take a quick break and we'll see you guys soon. Or you'll hear us soon. We'll be back.
Yeah.
We are back from our break and let's hop into the rest of the calls.
Hi, I'm 22. It doesn't matter where I live. So I just broke up with my boyfriend of 2 years because of a plethora of things. But I kind of had like a straw break, I guess, when he showed up to my brother's 5th birthday on muscle relax. There was no guarantee it was an accident. He didn't know how they would affect him. But, you know, whatever accident, air quote, or not, I'm a protective person and I don't allow that around my family. I also have been having a lot of issues with my own, self-love and stuff. And we have to live together for at least the next month while I find a place, because I'm moving closer to my family, and to a city that's a little bit more accessible. And I guess I was just looking for tips on boundaries because he's insisting that we sleep in the same bed and, you know, make the most of the time we have left. And I didn't break up with him because I didn't love him. It was just, you know, what was best for me and what was best for the people who I love outside of him. And like, he's just insisting we make the most of the time we have left. And I don't know if that's the best way to handle it, I guess. Like, I don't mind it, but like, it's not like we're cuddling or anything in bed. Like, we're just like, I'm sitting on the edge of the bed while we're watching shows or some shit. And it's definitely not the same. And I just want to help with setting boundaries because it's really difficult with addiction. And whenever you still love someone, but you just, you know, you need to leave because it's what's best for you. And also tips on helping to make my new apartment a sanctuary, because that's all I want it to be. I just want it to be cozy and fluffy and fucking beautiful for me to grow and take time for myself. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Didn't give as much detail as I probably should have. Basically, we just have a long history with addiction, and I have a long history with trauma and other bullshit that he's supported me through with like therapy. Oh my God, I'm about to hit the 3, so I'm going to go. Thank you. Have a good day. You guys fucking rock. Bye.
I don't know why he's calling the shots. And I get that, like, you really care about him and you love him. And, like, I've definitely been in a relationship. Actually, it's a lie. I get why he's calling the shots because you also don't disagree with him. You know what I mean? Like,
she hasn't put the boundaries up.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily want to, because you're right. You do still love him. It is, like, this is what's best for you and your mental health. I think the most important thing when you are... I don't want to say that you can't trust yourself, because, like, deep down you can. But, like, the minute to minute, day by day, you're having to deal with, like, okay, I know what's right for me versus, like, this also feels really good. So it's really fucking confusing because, like, you're also even saying, like, he supported you through all of this stuff. And, like, it is the addiction that is the issue. And, like, it is a very valid and fair and, like, empowering self-love reason to be out of the relationship. But I think now you need to involve somebody else to hold you accountable for that, like, very clear, correct thought process that you've had. But it's hard to maintain that, especially when you see him all the time. So I think it, like, as much as, like, I don't want to, as much as it's like, oh, like, winning the relation, like, winning the breakup or whatever, like, stand your ground and all of that stuff, I don't think comes in the form of being like, if you, like, talk to your friends about it and they're like, well, no, like, he should be the one sleeping on the couch. Well, if he's not, then you should sleep on the couch. If he's not going to do that and he's going to insist that, like, no, I really want to sleep in the bed with you. If he's not going to respect your boundaries, should he be the one sleeping on the couch? Yeah. But, like, it might have to be you, or even more than that. You're spending you have a month left. Stay with a friend. Like, have a friend come crash at your place too. Like, make it so, like, you are not alone together, because, like, you shouldn't be watching TV together. Like, this isn't how a normal breakup would go. And it's also going to make it really hard and confusing, and also an even harder transition for you, I think, to then go to being completely by yourself in your new apartment. I think, even like you said, like, how can I make my apartment feel like a sanctuary? I think, like, you need to start that process now. Yeah. Because it's like you guys haven't broken up yet. Yeah. Like, you've taken away, like, I'm sure the intimate aspects, and, like, you've dialed it back, but, like, it's still, even being roommates is still, like, a really, like, heavily intertwined relationship. And so you guys are still there. So I think even if it inconveniences you for a month, staying with a friend, or staying with, like, a family member or anything like that, or anything to get you in a place where, like, you aren't spending any alone time with him. And I also think it'd be really good for you to spend some time away from that apartment too. Yeah. Because you're going to be in a totally new space. And I think that's going to be a great thing for you, because it's not going to be, like, the memories of this place that you guys had together. But I think that the more you're in a place now where you can gradually pull back from all of that, and it's not going to be so much cold turkey. So I think, like, really trying and making an effort to do that, and even just not hanging out at the house, like, having it be like, if you have to sleep there and you can't stay at a friend's place one night, or you can't stay at, like, a family member's place one night, or a friend can't stay with you that one night, then come home just to sleep, and you sleep on the couch. You don't hang out there, and you don't watch movies there. You don't watch TV there. Like, you don't do that there. You really use it as, like, this is my crash pad. And he's your roommate. Yeah. And also and tell him and be like, I really love you and I really care about you. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I care about me too. And I need to value me. And I don't want you to take this in like I don't value our relationship and what it's meant to me, but I need to value myself right now. And I'm going to let you know, I'm not going to talk to you. Like if you talk to me, I'm not going to respond. And I think just telling him that and being like able to create that, but distance now, I think is going to be a lot. It's going to just benefit you in the long run. And also, as much as you're saying that like he's saying this and he's saying this and he's saying this, you just have to create your own boundaries. And it doesn't matter if he agrees to them or not, because you don't need him to agree to them when you've created them. Like you get to live up to that. Like if you're like, no, I'm not going to sleep in the same bed as you. He can't, I mean, if he's physically forcing you to, then like get out of there. Yeah. But the same thing of like, you're like, if I'm not going to talk to you, he can't force you to talk to him. And again, if he puts you in a situation where he's like physically harming you, then that's a whole other story. But he's not going to necessarily agree with the boundaries that you want to create, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't still have those. Yeah.
They're your boundaries. Yeah. They're not something that you should get okayed by him. Yeah. So just think about what you want. What is it? And it'll be easier now for you to set them than doing it in the long run. So
yeah. But I think just friends are really And also I don't want you. I'm not want to put words in your mouth, because I don't think you should feel this way. But if you do feel any sort of like embarrassment about all of this stuff, I think it happens. I mean, addiction happens to like, so I've said so many times, like I've dated so many guys who've been into drugs, and like, you can kind of feel like an idiot that you're like, how the fuck did I not know this? Or like, how the fuck did I get in this deep? And I feel dumb. Or even if your friends had made an inkling and like suggested it before and you were like, no way, you shut it down. The more open and honest you can be with everybody in your life, then they're going to be able to do the most for you and support you the most. So as much as like obviously respecting his privacy and everything like that, like this is something that you're also going through. So let your friends know, because your friends are going to be able to be there for you when they understand the situation, like really explicitly. And yeah, I mean, like if I had any friend who had like been like was going through this, like I'd be like, no, 100% like crash on my couch for as long as you need. So I think that I'm sure there are people in your life who totally will do that, and just make sure that you're being really honest with them about the situation, and also about what you need from them as friends to support you through all of it. Yeah. Because it's rough. It's super rough. But
and you're then how to make her place like more comfortable.
I mean, I think number one, just like go like that. What's that? Is it a Swedish term? That's like hygge or whatever. HYG something. But it's supposed to be like just like cozy sort of things. I think focus. Get a gravity blanket.
Yeah, a gravity blanket obsessed. And Buffy. Too.
Oh my God, yeah.
We both have those. They're probably advertising in this episode too, so you can get.
Yeah, Melissa told me to get one before they were even sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
And I was
I'm obsessed. And then they sponsored, and then they're the best.
So I would focus on things that that kind of comfort level of like stuff that's good for you in that way.
Things that smell good also make me, like lavender calms me down, and things that are you walk in and you just see things that make you feel good.
Yeah. And I think also pictures of like your friends and your family and stuff that's might not necessarily have like a physical feeling of coziness and warmth, but things so when you look around your room or artwork or paint anything that like when you look around, it makes you happy and it makes you feel like safe and nice and good and secure. I'm like a hyper paranoid person. So for me, like I love being able to have like so many lights in rooms and like have them be able to like really all the way turn on. I had a night light for like the longest time. And now one of our lights just like won't turn off in our kitchen. So like that's my night light because I can still see it all the way from our fucking bedroom. So I think stuff like that is super great. And then also to feel safe and I would, as much as alone time feels really can be really like therapeutic, also inviting people over and having like it's your sanctuary and it's your safe space, but also you can let people into your sanctuary and your safe space, and like making like weekly plans with friends and all of that stuff, because as someone who lived alone for a long time, like it can get really lonely and it can be really cathartic at some points, but it can also just feel isolating. So making sure that you're still going out of your comfort zone and like having, or like staying within you're like, this is my cozy, comfortable place, and I'm going to bring people into it if you don't feel like ready to like explore outside of that. And then I would also say start a new hobby at your home. So like maybe you get into painting, watercolors. You get into something that's like an activity once you come home that isn't just like content, that isn't just like watching TV or anything like that, that you've got like a little corner on your desk where like you like to paint, or you like to like, whether it's like make friendship bracelets, knitting, something that you can do that feels like productive and relaxing, that isn't content, because content can also be triggering. Like there's definitely like there's so many fucking things that like halfway through I'm like, yeah, I can't watch this, it's just making me feel fucking worse, like I can't do this. So something that can take your mind off of that too. And music, get speakers, speakers all around the apartment, that'll be great.
Also for me, like color is a big thing. So like when I walk in, it's like purplish. Like my curtains are purple. I have a fuzzy purple rug. And then like my bedroom, there's like lots of like gold tones in there, so that when the sun shines in the morning, then my whole room is like golden. So that's another thing to think about.
And curtains, feeling safe. Yep. That's another good one. I have blackout curtains, which I love. But then the other thing I got blackout curtains. So if I like want to feel like really isolated in a way I can, but then I also got curtains that go underneath it. So they're like sheerer, so people can't see in. But if I still want the light without feeling like too exposed, I can have that. So I think that's also a good one, you know? Alarm system, the Alexa thing you're telling us about?
Oh yeah, Alexa has this new thing that's called like Alexa Guard. So when you leave your house, you can say, Alexa, I'm leaving, and it'll make it so like if there's a fire or if glass breaks or anything weird happens in your house, then it'll send an alert to your phone. Yeah. And then when you come home, you say, Alexa, I'm back. And she's like, welcome home, Melissa.
Or whatever. She really wants, unless you change your name to Melissa.
Yeah, whatever your name is.
It's always just Melissa, though. Alexa's like, I only do this for Melissas. And I'm like, well, fine, sure. There can be more Melissas. But congrats on your new apartment.
Yeah,
I think it'll be great.
That's a big step.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it'll be good. And also just lots of, last one I'll say, speakers, podcast. Music is great, but also podcasts. That for me, when I'm home alone, or even when I lived alone, playing, it made it feel like I wasn't so isolated. Like there are people around. Yeah. It's like that meme of everyone being like, haha, me laughing alone in my car to the people who don't know that I'm like, I'm best friends with these people on podcasts. So it feels nice. It includes some, I also do that with like getting like a Postmate. I always have like a podcast playing or something that's not TV. So I'm like, oh, I have all these people and like, don't kidnap me. I mean, I'm paranoid. Okay. You know, that's how I stay comfort, like my cozy comfort.
I always tell my Postmates just to leave the food at the door. So
yeah, I should do that.
Yeah. Then I don't have to.
I rarely do it though, because usually Aislinn understands my paranoia and she'll do it. And then
it's not, it's just, I don't want to talk to people, as I've said before.
Yeah. I mean, it's valid. People suck. Yeah. People are the worst. Well, yeah. I'm excited for you and your new adventure. So let us know how it goes. Send us pictures on Instagram of your cute apartment, of the inside. We don't need to see the outside. We're good.
Hi, Megan. So I just learned about some news with my oldest younger brother. I'm 21 and he's 17, I believe. We found out that he was my dad's kid about 5 or 6 years ago. Sorry, here's some backstory. And he has his entire life gone through so much. Like he's been abused in every single way you could think of, basically, from his mom being a drug addict, dating men who abuse him and all that type of stuff, and his grandmother being a drug addict, and he was primarily in her custody. Don't know how. We tried helping him, gave him all the resources we could when he was like a preteen, when he lived with my dad, and it just didn't work. He kept stealing from my parents. He kept threatening all these things. He went to counseling, and he was diagnosed, I would say, as a clinical sociopath. I don't know if that's important or not. But I just learned that after he moved back into his uncle's house and then moved back with his mom, which wasn't the best place for him at all, he had gone to juvie twice and is now being charged as an adult for raping a child. And even though him and I aren't close, I don't know how to feel about it. Obviously, like, it's disgusting and I can't believe that it happened, but at the same time, that's my brother. So I don't really know how to deal with it. If you could obviously give me some advice, that would be great. I don't know how to deal with it, and it's kind of freaking me out. So yeah, thank you. Bye.
Oh, fuck. Damn. Well, I think the first thing, I think it is, it sucks, but I think like it is important that he has been diagnosed as a clinical sociopath.
Yeah.
And I understand that, like, familially, blood related, this is your brother. And I think the more research you can possibly do on sociopaths, I think you might understand that the relationship and the kinship that you feel towards him as your brother, he doesn't feel towards you. And if he is a clinical, he doesn't have that sense of empathy and remorse and love and the compassion that you're giving him. He doesn't have, not only does he not have for you, he doesn't have for anybody.
Yeah.
And it really sucks when someone in your life that you have those feelings for and you have that like innate human relationship with, when that's not matched, it's really confusing and it's really hard because you can't ever really put yourself in his place because he doesn't have that sense of empathy. And that is what makes humans human. Like that is one of those things. And when he doesn't have that, it's hard to wrap your head around how someone could not have that, because there's also a huge aspect of manipulation when it comes to sociopaths who you can tell I know a lot about them. But a lot of it is mimicking and seeing like, oh, I see how these humans are, how these people, I keep saying like human, like he's an alien. He's not an alien, but like I see how people are reacting and communicate with each other on a TV show. And I'm going to mimic that to get what I want and get what I need. So it can be really confusing and hard because it doesn't really all line up as a story, because there are moments where it feels like, no, this feels like compassion. This feels like humanity. And then he's stealing something. It's never there out of like the goodness of their heart. It's there out of the fact that like, that's what's happening. And I also want to say like, there's as much as like sociopaths are depicted as like serial killers and so incredibly scary and all of that stuff. It's a mental disorder and it's not something that necessarily like makes him a monster or a terrible person. It is the reason why he has done these things, and it's the reason why these things have happened, and it hasn't changed or gotten better. And it adds up to the fact that a huge thing with sociopaths and a huge connection is people who were abused as children.
Yeah. And like promiscuous sexual behavior and infidelity are parts of that. And abusing children is a part of that profile as a sociopath as well. It
checks out from his whole life that like, it fucking sucks that like there are a bunch of studies of people not knowing, like, are people born sociopaths, nature versus nurture and all of that stuff. And it totally fucking sucks that this is where he's ended up. But this is where he's ended up. Yeah. And it's not something that you or anybody's going to be able to change. And I think like the more that you can look at it as he's a danger to himself and other people right now, and that this is like a terrible, disgusting thing that, I mean, it's been terrible things that have been going on that you and your family have tried to steer him in the right direction. It's not been able to work. And now it's at a point where it's not just affecting your family and in a way that you guys can deal with while still being frustrated. Like this has gone to a whole different level. And no.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The fact that if he's not able to be a like productive, positive part of society right now, then like he shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
He should be charged as an adult, and he shouldn't be able to be out and around. And he should be a registered sex offender. There should be all of these things that like, that doesn't change. Like he's still your brother, but he isn't capable and shouldn't be allowed to be in certain situations, and the law should enforce that.
Yeah. And I think the more that you learn about like what a sociopath is, and that then the more you'll be educated and you can understand him more.
And I would also suggest therapy for you is great.
In your family too.
Yeah. Just to understand it more. Cause I mean, I've definitely understood it a lot more in therapy. And it's something that it's one of those things that like the more research that you do on your own and the more that you can talk to professionals about it, I promise you, for all of you, it will be these moments of, oh, it clicks. Oh, it clicks. And it clicks not in like a year. It doesn't click in like a certain specific time period of his life. It's going to click in every aspect, and you're going to be able to look back on it. And I'm not saying that it's going to tarnish your memories at all, or it's going to like do anything like that, but it's going to make this like sadness that you feel of wanting him to do better and thinking that he can, and like feeling this obligation to be like, well, what about me? What have I done? All of these things. It's going to be like, you know what? This is him. This sucks that this is like, was his situation, is some circumstance when he was really young and it was out of our hands. And this is where he's at now. But this empathy that these feelings that I have of like sadness about that this is my brother and he's doing all these terrible things. It's going to change your relationship dynamic how you view your relationship, in a way of being like, oh, I was never going to get what I wanted, like what I needed as a relationship out of this person. I was never going to get that. And I think when you have that, it kind of closes that chapter. Then I think the worst thing ever is like when there's a relationship you have with someone and like you can't get what you want out of it. And once you realize that like that was, you're not going to be able to, I think you will feel a lot, come to terms with it a lot more, and like you'll feel a lot better, and you'll feel a lot more empowered and controlled in your own life, because there was nothing you could have done, which is like, yeah, it's a frustrating thing, but I think it's the more I think knowledge is power, and the more you can research it and understand it, and then I think if you can talk to a therapist about all of it, it makes sense. I mean, there's like the same interviews that happens with like people whose kids commit murders and shootings and all of that stuff, like that. It's a process of figuring all that stuff out. And also I think if it feels productive for you to really like volunteer with like young kids and doing like work with a charity that focuses on helping like young abused kids in that situation, like channel that like sadness that you have and empathy you have for your brother to like people who are in his same shoes when he was that age, because I don't want to call him a lost cause, but I think like that empathy, I think there's a lot of kids out there who could really use that like
the
love,
nurture and love that have
at
parents
that
are like drug abusers and stuff. So I think have probably abused them.
Yeah. And I think that's those people are going to be really susceptible, like they're going to be able to feel that and absorb that from you. And I think you're going to find that to feel a much more like fulfilling place. Cause I think pouring love into a sociopath does nothing. And it sucks. And like, it feels exhausting, but you always kind of like hold out a little bit of hope. But the more than you can pour love into other people and people who maybe you see like young him in, I think that's going to be a much more, a good relationship on both ends. It's not going to be so draining for you. But this really sucks. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Oof. I wish I could give you a hug.
Yeah.
Just like close your eyes and we're all pretend we're hugging right now. Your eyes closed. Okay. That was our hug. It was a good one. I hope I wasn't the only one closing my eyes.
I closed my eyes.
Okay. Well, you always close your eyes for no reason. Randomly all the time.
I think. I'm a deep thinker.
Oh, yeah. She's an Aquarius. She's not from this planet. That's why. Okay. Do we have another one? Or are we on to
Don't Blame Them?
We are on to Don't Blame Them. And this is where listeners, you guys, call in with your own advice on previous calls if you've been through something similar.
So this is from episode 24 from season 2. The original caller was very, very...
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Very, very concerned that she would get pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved this one.
So this is someone calling in to share their advice.
If someone got fucking pregnant from dry humping, I'm going to lose it. Did she?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Hey, Megan. I am listening to the last podcast with Melissa, and there was a girl that called because she's super paranoid about getting pregnant, even if she's not having sex. And I cannot even tell you how much that used to be me. I'm 22 and I've been with my boyfriend for almost 5 years now. He's the only guy I've had sex with, but that used to be me to a T. I made him take me to get Plan B one time just because we made out and he came in his pants. So I totally get it. However, it's sort of something I've kind of grown out of. So partially because I have an IUD, and even with an IUD, I did not let him come in me for the first year because I was still terrified. And then my doctor basically told me there's the slimmest chance of getting pregnant with an IUD. Like, there's no point. Like, just let it happen. So I've gotten comfortable with it now after a few minor, major panic attacks. So I totally get it. It's just something that you have to learn to trust your partner, trust yourself, trust your body, and eventually you'll probably just get used to it or kind of grow out of it, I guess. Also, with what Megan said about implantation bleeding, I used to, every time I started my period, I would say, I just got my period. Or I'm not spotting. It's implantation bleeding. But I figured out by a lot of research that implantation bleeding is usually a very dark color. It's like brown, usually, which sometimes your spotting can be, but sometimes that's helpful to know that your period is usually going to be a little bit more red than implantation bleeding. It's going to be a very dark brown usually. So that's something that helps me get through that. So good luck, girl. You're probably not going to get pregnant, especially if you're being as cautious as you are. But good luck. Everybody stay safe. And thanks. Love the show, guys. Bye.
I just want to applaud. I'm not here to like applaud a fish for swimming, and I'm really not here to applaud usually like straight boys, but like that boyfriend for buying Plan B when he came in his pants and being like, yeah, babe, I'll spend $45 dollars on this for sure. Here you go. I think that's really sweet.
That is sweet. They're still together too.
Yeah, so 5 years.
Going strong.
Yeah.
So original caller, you're not alone.
You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so unlikely. But I do like how casual she made her doctor sound. Like she made her doctor sound like she was peer pressuring her. Just like, fucking let him come inside you.
Just let him nut.
Just let him fucking nut. Like, you're being stupid. Not that she said that. Not that you're being stupid. But no, it's yeah. It's funny. Knowledge is power.
It is.
Once you figure this out, you're like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can enjoy yourself more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, like, don't take Plan B if you really don't have to, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do that at all. At all.
All right.
Well, guys, that's it for our episode. I hope you enjoyed.
Me too.
If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon, please check it out.
Mm-hmm. There's new content from us. Mm-hmm. There's new content Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
So much content for all of you who want more. This is where you go. More is more. This is where you belong. Patreon. And check out our Instagram, Don't Blonde Meme Pod. And if you guys want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can give us a call at 310-694-0976. You're going to need to do both hands.
Yeah.
She was trying to do along with her hands. And international listeners, send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. You only did like 4 letters.
I know. I could get them all in, but you were just going too fast.
It's true. And what else, guys? Check our Instagrams out. We're always in the show notes. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melissa DeMonts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.